So there's actually 4 use cases that we'll cover. One is situations when coins in an uptrend pull back and are oversold on RSI. We'll build several different screens or custom filters for that. Second use case is the extreme overbought near resistance. So that will be perhaps areas when we want to trim our positions or exit completely. The third case is actually builds on what we learned in the lesson 4, which is the prior lesson about momentum in an uptrend, where we use MACD as the primary indicator for momentum, but we can now layer on RSI as another indicator that will confirm that MACD bullish crossover. So we'll cover that as well. And then lastly, we'll talk about RSI divergence, bullish and bearish RSI divergence. Okay, let's go ahead and build a custom filter. So here I mentioned, let's start with a very basic one. RSI below 30. Let's see what we get. We may have to adjust that to RSI below 40. So we go to the screener. We say, by the way, we have a lot of presets here. In fact, one of them is oversold under 30. So you may even just use that. Add the filter. So now we've got 83 coins that are under 30 out of about 1,700. So we've already narrowed it down quite a bit. Doesn't surprise me considering that we've had several bullish days in the marketplace. And so very few coins are probably getting sold off. And then the other is just my standard market cap. Let's be over 5 million. So now we're down to 34. All right, we've got 34 coins. We could go through each individually. Well, let's keep building this filter a little more. Now, what I will do, I will add the trend indicator, because again, we want to trade with the trend. If we're looking for opportunities to buy, then we want to make sure that at least the medium and even the long-term basis, this coin has been trending up. On the short-term basis, it may not be the case because the short-term can change quickly. And if this is a situation where the coin has sold off, the short-term trend could be very well neutral or even down. But more importantly, the medium trend needs to be up and the long-term trend as well. So we're going to add medium trend is up. And long-term trend also needs to be up. Wow, we're down to 3. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Coins that are in an uptrend rarely dip as low as 30 or below. So we're going to relax this, and the RSI below 30, I'm going to replace with RSI below 40. Below 40, 40. Okay, we got 21. And add our market cap. That will probably eliminate a few as well. Market cap above 5 million. All right, we got to 21 coins. Nice. All right, so here are some decent candidates. Let's look at the trends. Right, so they're up on the medium and the long-term basis, as we requested it to be. On the short-term basis, it's a mixed bag. Some are down, neutral, up. That's fine. Obviously, I would expect the short-term to be disrupted, considering that we're looking for exactly those situations. And we can go ahead and look at the charts and what we have here. Now, ideally, we find something that is, let's go ahead and get rid of some of the noise, like right now, MACD and SMA 50, we don't need. I'll keep the SMA 200. That, to me, is also an important support area. But ideally, we find a situation of a coin that's oversold on an RSI basis. It is in an uptrend on the medium and the long-term basis, as we stipulated in our filter. but it's also approaching or near the support level. Support resistance, so key to every trade and every analysis. So let's take a look at the first one, waves. Take a look at the big picture at first. Okay, you see the 200 simple moving average is trending up. So overall, on the long-term basis, that to me is an indication that it is in an uptrend. And generally, even visually, we see that in recent months it has been in an uptrend, and we've had a pullback here. That pullback has reached some really oversold conditions. So we should be, or there could be very well a period of a bounce. Now let's see if we're near some kind of a support area. So we're getting near 25 level here. I'd say there's been a couple of touch points here that where it acted as a support level. Here as well. Here it was broken, but for a very short period of time. So I'd say 25. And also, by the way, we're near the 200-day moving average, and that also acts as a dynamic support level. Oftentimes, if you look at the big picture here, it almost, look, it touched here, the 200-day moving average bounced up. It touched it here, violated a little bit, bounced back up here as well. So the 200-day moving average is also often used support level or resistance if we're below that. And so we're close to that. So I really like this situation because we are near a support level, which I think is about, in fact, it's more like 22 or so, maybe 25. I'm sorry, 24 to 25. And my downside, possibly I could have some support level at the $21 level, which is my SMA 200. And so this, to me, would be a valid trade. And maybe we'll do it at the end of the lesson. So that's kind of the thought process here. On top of everything we have here, we're going to add another indicator that could strengthen this signal, and that's MACD Histogram. And this is actually a recent addition to our filter capabilities. And I'm going to say H2 is up. Now, what the hell is H2? All right. So in the last lesson, lesson 4, we talked about using MACD bullish and bearish crossovers for momentum trades. We also talked about the fact that MACD histogram. So I'm going to apply this. Let's add back MACD histogram to our chart, or MACD in general. So MACD histogram are these green bars here, right? And we said that the MACD histogram is actually more sensitive to momentum changes than the crossovers. So the crossovers like this, sell and the buy, are typically our signals when we talk about momentum trades and trading MACD crossovers. But you'll notice that the MACD histogram bars oftentimes already indicate a change in the momentum a few days ahead of the actual crossover. So what we're trying to do here is, by adding MACD histogram to our custom filter, we're saying, okay, it's oversold, but the momentum is starting to shift. We're at the beginning of a potential momentum shift in the price. Now, it could be too early, and that's kind of the downside of the MACD histogram, is that it can be a bit too early. But when we combine it with some of the other signals here or indicators, such as oversold RSI levels at the support level and so forth, it adds evidence to our case.